Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another weekly trade recap video. Hope everyone is enjoying their weekend. And let's dig into this week. What trade did I take and what are the running positions? This week I actually only took in one trade, which is pound kiwi. We'll go over that. And then I actually exit the Cardano trade for a beautiful almost 9% profit, which is a very good position. I'll go over this, my management plan as well. And still holding Bitcoin, of course, still holding Bitcoin from the bottom. I have two trades running really deep into the profit now. So we'll go through those and then kind of take a look what are my thoughts on them and my management approach. So starting with Pound Kiwi. Pound Kiwi is the only trade I took this last week, and that's kind of take a look into it and see why I entered this. So start with the higher time frame here. This is the higher time frame daily. If we just zoom out here, what's going on here is that if we just look at the latest bit of the price, right? This is what we do is the previous price, back in all this is really not relevant to what the price is doing. So we want to focus on what the most current price action and how to take that into consideration. So if we look at the higher time frame here, this is a strong impulsive move to the downside. This is a clear impulse phrase, and we fall into this deeper, larger kind of a flag structure. You can see that, or a channel structure, whatever you want to call it, a continuation correction to correct this move. So we're likely to see further downside once this correction finishes. And this is why my high time frame approach during this area is always looking for bearish by one more confirmation. So you can see that when this flag is about to finish, getting a little bit more clue from the higher time frame, we have a head and shoulder pattern, which is one good thing to reverse. We know that it's a bearish reversal. If we look closely here, we had an impulse correction and we impulse all of this higher time frame correction. This is always the key I look for. Remember, multi-time frame analysis, we talk about a correction after breakout. So it doesn't matter which time frame you're looking at, you're always going to get these correction after breakout type of price action. And here, if we get that on the daily, it gives you so much more confluence, so much more confirmation that we're likely to see a resume of this bearish move. So making this as an impulse correction, impulse out. So higher time frame wise, really clear to me. This impulsive phrase breaking out of the correction, and we're getting through like a continuation correction in the faking. So right away, my higher time frame bias is a bearish bias. And going down to the lower time frame here, this is where I talk about a potential entry. Is that we had this impulse move to the downside and looking like we're forming a continuation. You could call this like a wedge or a kind of ascending channel. And if you look closely here, what we have here is another small ascending channel moving up. And this is why in this analysis I mentioned, let the price correct, let the price finish. We want to wait for the first push down and on lower time frame and first correction. And that is already what's happening in the Friday time. So if we dig a little bit deeper here, how I got in this position was, if we look at that, if we look at this, we have this ascending channel, a lower time frame ascending channel within this kind of a larger ascending or wedge structure. So pattern within pattern, and we have the higher time frame bias within our favor. And if we look closely here on the lower time frame, when the price made a bullish push up, was it followed by continuation? This is why lower time frame looking for confluence, looking for confirmation is really key. Is that after a bullish push to the upside, if it's not followed by continuation, we're likely to see reversal because of how the higher time frame has shown us, how the lower time frame price action has given us reversal kind of bearish kind of price action. So that was what I was waiting for. Is if this bearish move, if this bullish move cannot continue, are we going to get bearish reversal and bearish continuation? So if you look closely here, we push to the upside and then we reverse push down, form a continuation kind of pullback correction, and then we push down once again. And this is where I opt in for a entry order. You could argue to look for entry order here and put the stop loss above. That's fine. When I was looking at this, I saw this correction for me, so I opt in with the entry order below and then put a pretty decent stop loss above this high because I don't want to see price kind of pull back here, just form a deeper correction like this, and then still going to the downside. And that's why risk management, stop loss is really important to me. I don't mind potentially making less profit, but I want to make sure my position is protected. So you can see that my set my entry order here. And this is just before London session, and then price continue to just bearish push out to the downside, which is good. And you can see that we break out of this ascending channel now. So that is definitely looking for more confirmation here. I would certainly look for a confirmation here if there's going to be a correction of rate making. And if I can put my first trade put to a 1-to-1, I might even look for a scale in entry because we understand the nature of the market. I made a video about where we can set potential target price, take profit. And first is always the beginning of the correctional structure. So this one about 4.3 to 1, but the second target is going to be at the beginning of this larger correction and a potential double bottom area. So that is my trade on pound kiwi. It's running good now into, I think it's about 1.5% or so. And I want to see what happens next week if we get further bearish continuation, and I might looking to scale in. Second trade that I closed down, the trade I closed down is Cardano. So Cardano, been talking about it since last Friday, I believe. Friday 5th, so about 2 weeks from now. This is the original position I enter. Talk about that we're approaching the previous high. I want to see price break above the previous high and form continuation. So that is what price did. We pushed up to the upside, and then we formed this quick lower time frame correction, but above that previous high area, which is great. So I opened with the entry order, and then price pretty much massively pushed to the upside. So I talked about last week is that my management approach was always to take profit at the $1 level because I'm not sure what the higher time frame will do. This is a previous higher time frame swing high, and I'm fine taking a profit here because price has already impulsively pushed up very aggressively, and I didn't want to hold through a potential pullback once we break through all-time high or once we break through this previous high, and then we might form a deeper correction or something like that. I didn't want to lose profit. I'm exiting the trade for $1 for about 8.94%. And it's the same kind of forecast I talk about in this, is that I want to wait for price to break above that previous high. And then if there's continuation correction in the making, I will get back into the trade. So that is the first step, right? We see price impulsively break up, which is good. So now let's wait for a continuation correction on the lower time frame and potentially get back into this trade. So Cardano, very beautifully, one of probably the trade for this month, running finish at 8.94%. And again, it's important to have a plan, right? There's no right and wrong when it comes to this position. Some people enter the same position as I did or even earlier, and they're looking to hold longer term, and that's fine as long as that is in your plan and your management approach. For me, I'm happy to, this is more of a short term kind of trade. I'm happy to get in and get out of it and secure as much profit as I can, and then if the price action give me better confluence to enter back in again, I'll enter back in again, and that's totally fine with my approach. I'm happy with this result on this particular trade, and then move on to other opportunities. Excuse me, guys. So last one I want to talk about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is going massively to the upside. We've been talking about Bitcoin since the bottom, right? So this is still my two positions I'm running. First position, still the best entry in my opinion. Once we broke that 20,000 level, you can argue this was the first position to enter, but to me this is also a lower time frame entry. So first trade, we've been talking about this for weeks or months now. First trade is running really beautifully. I think almost 18% or something like that. I can't really do the math, but running beautifully into the profit. And second entry, this is when we break all-time high and then price form continuation, and then we continue to the upside. So second trade is running almost 2%. So these two positions add up together almost about 20% or so. Again, my approach, my management is a long-term hold, right? This is always my approach from the beginning, and this is why having a plan is so important. I know I tend to go over this quite a bit, but this is why I'm able to hold through a correction, because my plan was all along was to invest in crypto and hold it for a longer term. I knew that after this strong impulsive move to the upside, naturally price is likely to form a deeper continuation correction and then resuming the previous trend. So impulse, correction, impulse, right? And that's why when you have a plan, you don't make emotional decision. You don't try to exit when the price drops down and then just to see price take off afterwards, and that gets into emotional drama. You rather have a plan in place, so whatever happens, at least you stick to your plan, and then you can change your plan accordingly in the future. But that's how we keep emotion out of the debate. So, what do I see moving forward on this? Well, both trades are running deep into profit, and I want to see what will happen, next week or following weeks. We've been pushing up pretty impulsively already, so naturally, again, are we going to get a deeper correction in the making to continue, right? It doesn't matter if it's going to be a small correction or we're going to get a deeper correction, but looking for bullish opportunity, right? Looking for bullish continuation that's going to give you a potential entry once again. Do you think there's a few lower time frame entries here that some of you guys may or may not get in? But if you look closely, this bullish price to the upside, there is just so many impulses phrase, correction phrase, impulse phrase, correction, impulse, correction, impulse. That's how the price continue to go up in this type of bullish trend kind of price action. The same idea when we see this bullish run as well. Okay, so that is it, guys. That is my weekly trade recap video. Bitcoin 2 positions still running, great into profit. Pound Kiwi is the only trade I took last week. It's about 1.5% now. I'm looking for a potential scale in position if we form continuation here and then push out the structure. If we push out this higher time frame structure, and if there's more lower time frame continuation, expect price to reach all the way to the previous low. Okay, and last one, Cardano exit the trade beautifully. Already set a take profit here, so the trade take me out for a full 8.94%, and looking for more scale in position in the future. All right, everyone. So thank you very much for tuning to this video, and I hope to chat with you guys next time in my weekly Outlook stream. Thank you very much.